Inside Story Uganda, real source of political updates.
You were part of the founding members of the Patriotic League Uganda, PLU,
yes,
which has positioned itself as pro-people, but also patriotic.
yes.
When you see what's happening in the country today, do you still think that there's a need to defend it, or do you think there's a need to correct whatever has gone wrong?
There are things we need to correct and there are things we must amplify. If we see something wrong, we must come up and correct it. When we see something good done by the state, we must always come up and say, this is amazing. Surprisingly, you guys in the media houses, you can rarely say that. When something good is done by this government of NRM, you can hardly see a media house coming out to sing praises. You always look for those negativities. Me as Gashumba, I have an obligation when I see something good. For example, this Hoima Stadium, where we all praised it because I think that's something very good. If there's a massive project being executed by the government of Uganda, we support it. For example, the SGR project. Kenya is done, Tanzania is done, it's only Uganda that is still remaining. If it kicks off, I'll be the first person to say, thank you, God. That's me.
Do you think that the line between protecting the nation and controlling its citizens has blurred beyond recognition?
No. I believe there's still a huge opportunity to fix each and everything.
Everyone has always been afraid of a post-Museveni era. What will happen when President Museveni is no longer the president of this country? What do you envision?
Trust me, if you have children, we must work 24 hours we must work 24 hours to make sure that after President Museveni's legacy, we have a smooth transition of power. Because for the last 40 years, Ugandans have enjoyed peace beyond repair. They have enjoyed peace, meaning the worst thing that can come to this country called Uganda is turning Uganda into Somalia or Libya. That's something we pray day in and day out that will never happen to Uganda. Because you all know what happened in Libya. I think it's like 30 years ago now. See what's happening in Libya. So Canada, you have children. I have children. Everyone has a stake in this country, Uganda. If there are mistakes taking place in this country called Uganda, whether you belong to the opposition or whether you belong to PLU or NRM or other civic organizations, we need to sit in a conference room where we can reconcile and move on like true Ugandans.
Because everyone is asking, many Ugandans asking privately, if this continues, what kind of country we are going to hand over to our children? One where civilians fear dawn raids by their own army. What does that do to the social contract the government made with its people?
First of all, unless you are not monitoring what happens in Uganda, if you're really monitoring what is really happening in this country, you get worried. And if when we get worried, we must find a way of making sure that our worries are stopped. We must make sure that what we potentially see doesn't happen.
You continue to fight many battles, the latest one having been, of course, the battle to make sure that the Banyarwanda in Uganda are respected and they enjoy their rights.
Yes.
What has that taught you as a lesson?
One thing I've learned that there are many injustices taking place in Uganda. Unless someone stands up to fight for their rights, you'll never know. Between 2017 and 2025, Banyarwanda, who are Ugandans, who are 100% Ugandans, there's no place they call a home apart from Uganda, were suffering injustices silently. They were being denied national IDs and passports. It took a person like Gashumba, Dr. Lawrence Muganga, Ngarambe, Kabagambi, and the rest to stand up and say, you know what, we must stand up and be counted. What I can assure you, Canada, the President of Uganda, after the President of Uganda listening to different voices, different organizations, he learned that there were injustices taking place in Uganda, and he issued an executive order guiding officials of Ministry of Internal Affairs and NILA on who qualifies to be a Ugandan. Previously, officials of NILA and immigration had successfully taken over the role the role of a constitution of Uganda. The constitution of Uganda recognizes over 65 indigenous communities, inclusive or including Banyarwanda. But they were being denied the national IDs and passports because of their appearance and the name. So the president guided that the power to determine who is a Ugandan does not lie in NIDA or Ministry of Internal Affairs, in the local authorities. Frank Gashumba, you want a national ID, go back to Villa Maria where you hail from. Let the chairman LOC1 confirm that you are Ugandan. Chairman LOC3, DISO and the RDC. The moment they confirm that you are Ugandan, you'll be issued a national ID and a passport. And I can authoritatively confirm that nobody is being denied a national ID or a passport now. Everything was solved by President Museveni, and we're extremely grateful.
And what has that taught you? Do you think that the state sometimes looks at injustices and keeps quiet?
No. There are things that will take place without the state even knowing. First of all, the first time we met the president of Uganda, he thought someone was using us. He actually confessed to us later that he thought someone was using us. And he found out that the injustices we are talking about are real, they're on ground. You get it? The message in it, when you see an injustice committed anywhere, please, if you have the ability to speak out. If the Gashumbas of those days did not stand up, I don't know. Look at a young boy who has just graduated from Makerere. 4 years on the road, he has no job. He's willing to go to Dubai, Qatar, or Oman to be an askari, and he's denied a passport. When you deny someone a passport, you've successfully crucified the entire family that feeds on him or her.
You said that is the same injustice that was mounted on Dr. Lawrence Muganga after being appointed minister.
Yes.
And Parliament rejected him.
Yes.
How is that?
First of all, Muganga was, in his wisdom as the president of Uganda, appointed Dr. Lawrence Muganga as a state minister for internal affairs. Muganga was carrying dual citizenship of Canada and Uganda. He appeared before the appointments committee, the Parliament of Uganda, and the deputy speaker of parliament crucified him, saying that he holds a Rwandan citizenship, which was false. Up to today, 4 ministers have not been sworn in. I think the president is underground finding out exactly what transpired in that appointments committee. One thing that I should tell you, Colonel, even if it's 500 years from today, something is really confusing. There's an indigenous community in Uganda called Banyarwanda. The Constitution of Uganda recognizes them. Actually, the first census of 1921, Banyarwanda were counted as an indigenous community in Uganda. Census of 1949 census, 1959 census, Banyarwanda ranked second in the entire country in numbers. And in Uganda, we are second in Uganda. But there is a big section of Ugandans who still believe the moment you say you are Munyarwanda, you don't belong to a country called Uganda. You belong to a country called Rwanda. And sometimes I tend to agree with them. A citizen of Rwanda is a Munyarwanda. Frank Gashumba seated in front of you is also Munyarwanda. It's very confusing. How do we separate Rwandans and Banyarwanda? That's why we had come up with an idea of calling ourselves Abavandimwe. Banyarwanda born in Uganda should be called Abavandimwe. That was our idea. It was fought by some conservative senior citizens, but surprisingly, 68% of Banyarwanda below the age of 50 still support that idea. We were looking at a long time, how do we cure this? If my son Rwabugiri goes to school with another boy called Mulindwa and another boy called Isabiri, Isabiri is a Musoga, Mulindwa is a Muganda, Rwabugiri is a Muvandimwe. When they grow up, other friends will be knowing, I have a friend called Rwabugiri, he is a Muvandimwe. So we thought at a long-term solution to this nomenclature. We hired a private firm and they told us it was a brilliant idea having Banyarwanda in the Constitution of Uganda, but they used the wrong name. It's very confusing. That's why Muganga, you remember, on this, as he was stepping out of parliament, that's the same question that was asked to him. He said, I'm not Rwandese, but I'm a Munyarwanda. Oh my God. You cannot convince Ugandans. You are not a Rwandan and you are Munyarwanda. It's very confusing.
Let's pick it up from there after this break. You're watching NBS Face Off. My guest tonight is Frank Gashumba, one of the most vocal voices in Uganda's politics. Do you believe Dr. Lawrence Muganga was rejected by the Parliamentary Appointments Committee because he's a Munyarwanda?
Actually, let me tell you, the Appointments Committee was ready to vote him in. He was let down by Honorable Tayebwa. This is how it started. The moment he enters the Appointments Committee, he introduced himself. They asked him a number of questions and he passed them. I understand one MP called Shaka of Entebbe moved a motion of voting. As they were going to vote, the Deputy Speaker of Parliament, I call him Mr. Tayebwa, I no longer call him Right Honorable because he no longer stands that test to me. He pulled out a file asking him, "Are you a Rwandan?" He said, "No, I've never been a Rwandan. Sorry, I've ever been a Rwandan, but I denounced the citizenship of Rwanda." And he told him, and Mr. Tayebwa continued asking him questions. "Have you ever lived in Rwanda?" "Yes." "Have you ever traveled to Canada using a Rwandan passport?" "Yes." Then Muganga tried to explain to Tayebwa. He was not given an opportunity. Tayebwa could continuously tell him, "You are going to be given an opportunity to answer back." He was not given that opportunity. He was told to step aside. The voting took place. So all members did not vote in for Muganga, thinking that Muganga lied to them. You know what I mean? Because he told them, I was holding two citizenships, one of Canada and one of Uganda. Before I entered this Appointments Committee, he had denounced the citizenship of Canada. So meaning he entered that Appointments Committee having one citizenship of Uganda. But successfully, Mr. Tayebwa convinced MPs that Muganga is a Rwandan citizen. Muganga is not a Rwandan citizen. Shortly after his graduation from Makerere, there were no jobs in Uganda. He went to Rwanda for Kyeyakoze. Those days, anyone that would go to Rwanda, it was easy for anyone to secure a Rwandan national ID or a passport. He secured a passport and national ID. After, he was awarded a scholarship to go to Canada to do his PhD. Reaching Canada in 2012, he started the process of acquiring citizenship of Canada. After acquiring the citizenship of Canada, he renounced the citizenship of Rwanda. So from 2014 to 2020 to 2023, he was using a Canadian passport till when he was issued a passport of Uganda. So in the mind of all MPs, they rejected Muganga thinking he was a Rwandan citizen. Muganga is not a Rwandan citizen. Muganga, he's a Ugandan. He was born in Uganda in Mukono year, schooled in Uganda. His life started in Uganda and it will end in Uganda.
Let's speak a little bit about the Patriotic League of Uganda, PLU. You were one of the founding members.
Yes.
And now you've been replaced.
Yes.
This week there's been a handover.
Yes.
Did that feel like, that replacement, did it feel like a knife in your back from people you called brothers?
Yeah, first of all, we never started the PLU. We started it from units. Many Ugandans don't know that. There were over 7 units. I belonged to Team Simba. There was Team Chairman. There was Revolutionary Guards. There was Avengers. Then I remember one day around 22, Balaam attended the last funeral rites of my father in Masaka. He found there many people putting on MK t-shirts and said, "Frank, we cannot operate these micro organizations. Let's form one unit." Then we formed MK Army. After forming MK Army, there was MK Army, there was Team Chairman, there was Avengers, Revolutionary Guards, and other groups. In his wisdom, General MK said, "We cannot operate these many organizations. Let's form one unit." Then he formed MK Movement. After operating for like a year, he said, "You know what? When you say MK, everyone thinks that this organization belongs to me. Can't we have an organization that covers all Ugandans?" That's when the idea of PLU came in. Do you get it? Many Ugandans, of course, know PLU. They don't know where we started from. I can tell you, if there is anyone who worked 24 hours in the formation of this MK brand, and there's only one person that can beat me. That was Baram Barugahara. The second one was me. So in 2023, in his wisdom, General MK appointed me to be his national vice chairperson in charge of Central Region. In his wisdom, He never consulted me when he was appointing me. So when he appointed a person to replace me, it's normal business. It's normal business. But what I can know, or what I can tell Ugandans, that, you know, we are even given numbers. I'm number 10 in peer review. As we speak now, I don't hold any portfolio in peer review, but I'm still a member.
You've publicly said you feel restricted
Yes.
to speak out, even inside PLU.
It's like a government. When you become a minister, you are restricted. When you become a judge, you cannot hang out with everyone. You know, when you work for an institution like NBS here, there are terms and conditions. There are things you can't do. For example, when PLU, I remember we've had SEC meetings. If SEC adopts a resolution, whether you like it or not, you must go by that resolution. That's what I meant.
General MK Kyeyakoze has said that he's going to summon you over your old statements. I think referring to a video where you said that should the discrimination against Banyarwanda continue, might breed an M23 problem in Uganda.
First of all, that's an old video. In 2023, I was invited to a conference. It was organized by the Equal Opportunities Commission. It's about the rights of the ethnic groups in Uganda. Then, those injustices of denying Ugandans national IDs and passports were still on. I made those statements in 2023, that the injustices I see in Uganda, if they don't stop, trust me, you're going to see M23 in Uganda. But I've just told you that the national IDs and passports, the experiences our people were going through is done now. It was solved by President Museveni. I wrote to General MK, clarifying to him that, sir, that video circulating on the social media is a video of 2023. And he told me, we are going to have a meeting one-on-one. We haven't had one. You get it? If he gives me an opportunity, I will explain him further. Actually, there are even more videos coming out now. Statements I made in 2020. If there is a scenario that you can bundle with what's happening, they bring a video of 2020 or 2021. So that video is an old video. You get it? Because they were saying, Gashumba has assured Ugandans that if Muganga is not sworn in, you are going to see M23. They doctored that video. You get it? And you know, with the AI now, you can do anything with a video. It's an old video, it's not a current video.
Let's take it back to the context of 2023 when there was still discrimination against the Banyarwanda. What were you trying to mean here? Is it that the M23 you were using as a threat?
Yeah, let me tell you. If all doors are closed, what do you expect Ugandans to do? Look at a young boy, born and raised in Nakasongola or in Masaka. You have rendered him stateless. What do you expect him to do? To fight for his rights. That's what President Museveni and group did in 1980. Canary, if someone denies you a national ID, he has economically crippled you. Without a national ID, you can't buy a can't transfer it into your name. Without a national ID, you can't buy land and transfer it into your name. Without a national ID, you can't be even admitted in Makerere University. So those matters were very, very serious. Luckily enough, Yoweri Museveni, who is always ahead of everyone, realized. That's when he came in with the executive order, guiding officials of Ministry of Internal Affairs on what to do. Let me tell you what they would do. When a Muganda goes to apply for a national ID, for example, they will tell you, Tambula ngo Muganda. Basically, tell us your clan, where you hail from. After telling them your history, they would ask you which schools you went through. Let's say Mengo Primary School, O-Level, Makerere High, A-Level, SMAC. They will tell you, go to Chamboga and pick your passport. When Gashumba goes to apply for a passport, the questionnaire changes. Gashumba must prove with documents that his grandparents were in Uganda before 1926. Nobody in Uganda has such a documents. That's why we said, no. We must expose these injustices. Actually, before meeting the president of Uganda, we had thought of going to the Constitutional Court so that the Constitutional Court pronounces itself. We were stopped that you don't need to go to the Constitutional Court. This is purely administrative, and it was fixed. Again, I will tell you this. If all doors are closed, what do you expect Ugandans to do? they must stand up and fight for their rights. Nobody in Uganda has the right to determine who is a Ugandan and who is not a Ugandan, because we all of us are below the Constitution of Uganda. I'm happy to tell you that as we speak now, we are enjoying each and every privilege of a Ugandan. You need a passport, proof, go to Masaka where you hail from, take those documents to NIDA. The moment you produce them, they verify them, they're authentic, you are issued a passport.
Let's take a break. When we return, is it such a big deal to serve under PLU? You're watching NBS Face Off. My guest tonight is Frank Gashumba. Frank, is it such a big deal to serve under PLU?
Let me tell you, every generation has an obligation to shape the next generations. Every generation has an obligation to shape the type of a future they want their children to live in. We started MK movement. What we are praying for is the smooth transition of power. General MK or General Muhoozi Kainerugaba has all the qualifications. He's a citizen of Uganda. Many Ugandans were abandoning him to his father. By the way, that was the biggest task that we faced. It was very, very important that we separate General Yoweri Museveni and General MK. Asking me, is it a big deal? Yes, it is a big deal, because history will either write us off or it will write us right.
Many look at PLU or General Muhoozi Kainerugaba as relief, in the post-Museveni era. At the same time, it's also seen as a threat. Is it very difficult to differentiate between the two?
It depends to whom you are asking. There are some of us who still believe in him 100%, and there is a section of Ugandans who don't believe in him. It's up to him to prove to Ugandans that I'm the suitable candidate you've been looking for.
I mean, if you speak out like you did, even if the video was doctored and returned from the past in 2023 about M23, the cost of speaking out and your replacement, does that mean that some tolerance has limits?
But let me tell you, whether I'm in PLU, I can survive Canary. You won't believe it, for the last 30 years that I've survived in Kampala, the only time that I've been closer to this government is when I joined MK. You get it. But what is important, are you doing the right thing at the right time? The M23 video that has trended for a week or two, I believe you know the history of Banyamulenge in Congo, how M23 started. Banyamulenge are Congolese. They are Congolese like any other ethnic group. But the state in Congo had successfully rendered them stateless. They had to pick up arms to fight for their rights. They never woke up. Fighting is not a cup of tea. Fighting is not walking into Cafe Javas and have a glass of juice. You get it? They had no option. That's why I use that example. That if this matter is not solved, I can see an M23 in Uganda. And it was solved. For example, if you are driving to Masaka and you see a bridge, there is no sign that there's a bridge. You may go on your X, because I know you are very good at writing on X, that if this bridge is not fixed, or if there are no signs that there's a bridge under construction, trust me, you are going to see accidents. That's the example I was giving. Let me tell you, do you think Museveni solved that crisis because of my statements? No. He said, this is pure administrative. Banyarwanda are listed among the indigenous communities in Uganda. But I believe General MK, someone sent him that video saying Gashumba is threatening to bring M23 in Uganda. Wapi? Of course, there are many people who have fought me from day one. And I believe it's them who are doctoring those videos to suit the current narrative.
Do you regret the years you invested in PLU?
No, I don't. I learned a lot. I've learned a lot. First of all, PLU really exposed me to the real Ugandan. These are 4 things I've discovered in PLU, what Ugandans are looking for: social services, roads, clean water, good schools, hospitals, stable electricity. In every place that we've been to, the memorandum, that's what they will tell you. This is what we did. Go to Kapchora, same thing. Go to Sembabule, same thing. Go to Kabale, go to Lakai, go to Mubende, social services. Actually, Ugandans, ordinary Ugandans, don't even care who is the president of Uganda. As long as they have stable electricity, running water, good schools, good hospitals. That's what I learned from PRU.
Looking at the former Secretary General of the PLU, David Kabanda.
Yes.
Are you also relieved that he's no longer the Secretary General?
100%.
Why?
He had no single iota of a qualification to lead PRU. That one I can say it at 4 a.m., at 2 a.m., and at midnight. That one I don't regret it.
But he led you for 3 years.
Me leading who? I was led by JNMK, not Kabanda. I was led by JNMK. I salute JNMK, not Kabanda.
What about Kabanda and his qualifications?
No. He's not. I think he's not a leader. I tried my level best, not once, not thrice, talking to him. I even told him one day, if there's something I did to you, just forgive me so that we can move PRU. But the man was beyond anyone. It was not about me. Was he in good books with the Toyota? Was he in good books with the Baram? Cedric Babu, you know, the late Cedric Babu. He was heading the entire Kampala. He would not step in Agulu. The man had successfully closed his office. You get it? I was not in PRU because of Kabanda. I was in PRU because of JNMK. You get it? And I'm the happiest. Actually, I'm celebrating. PRU is back. You are going to see the real PRU now. We are going to support Fadil 24 hours. Ever since he was appointed, he has called me 17 times. Are you aware it's me and Baram who recruited him? It's me and Baram who recruited Fadil. And the first event we held was in Kapchora, in his own area. That's the first place General MK visited. You get it? And I have to thank General MK for appointing Fadil. A leader, you must be a listening person. How can Gashumba go to Naguru and have to fill a form? It's impossible. None of us would even step in Naguru there.
You're saying that he had made it his personal office?
Yes. Toyota would hold the PRU meetings at Skies. Gashumba I would hold my PRU meetings at Speak Hotel, below Sheraton. Sometimes in my offices. But I'm the same thing. And we had an office. You get it? MK appointing Chirowa to replace me. I can't even complain. I'm so relieved and happy. This son called PRU, the doctor that carried out, I always give this example. When you take your wife to deliver a kid, sometimes they are doctors to oversee the nurses. The doctor who oversaw this baby being delivered is General MK. The nurses who were there to see this baby, it was Frank Gashumba and Baram Barugahad. Kabanda was not there. You get it?
How then does he catch the eye of General MK?
Trust me, there are things he can do that I can't do. I cannot blackmail everyone. I can't. That's not me. That's not how I was raised. That guy carries what they call inferiority complex. He fears everyone. Everyone. That's why we say, you know what? We can continue supporting General MK without stepping at Naguru. That's why I was there today.
What does it say? What does his absence at the handover say?
First of all, it speaks volumes. It speaks volumes. First of all, he's a coward. It speaks volumes. And he's in the country. He told the people lies that I won't be in the country. He's in the country. He would have been there and hand over the office. You get it? I was there because I did not join PRU for appointments or for positions. I told you I started supporting JNMK in 2022. I had no portfolio. In his wisdom, he appointed me as his national vice chairperson in charge of the central region. He's the same person who has decided to say, you know what? You still hold your number 10, let Chirowa take over. That's why I was there to witness that are we stepping in Naguru again? And trust me, you are going to see a very vibrant PRU. We are going to support our new Secretary General beyond repair.
Many want to see PLU solve challenges
Yes.
in this country.
Yes.
But the leader of PLU is the one arresting opposition figures, is the one taking pictures of them during detention. Is the same person, issuing out threats and comments on opposition leaders.
I'm having a meeting with him. Trust me, I'm going to speak to him. And he knows me. I speak my mind. Because I told him from day one, I won't tell you lies. I will tell you what I know and what I think is the right thing to do. If he decides to take my ideas or my suggestions.
Are you disappointed or relieved?
What?
Are you disappointed or relieved?
Disappointed on what?
In your replacement.
No. First of all, the way how I was created, the first 5 minutes really surprised me. After 5 minutes. First of all, you cannot delete Frank Gashumba. I'm a leader without a title, by the way, Canary. You get it? And General Emoke knows my impact on PLU. He knows. I think he was misled that Gashumba is threatening to bring M23 in Uganda, and he acted on falsehoods. But I sleep well.
A whole military chief acting on falsehoods.
It happens. Hey, you are not aware that even a head of state can be misled. They had even successfully misled President Museveni about Kanyarwanda. These officials of NIR and immigration had successfully convinced him that every person we deny a national ID or passport is a Rwandan. For 7 years, they had successfully caged him. If we hadn't fought so that he can hear our voice too. Because I remember there's a meeting where he brought in over 110 Ugandans whom they had denied the national IDs and passports. And he had personally done a due diligence on them. Can you imagine? 110. He had done a due diligence on each and every person. And all of them were Ugandans. And Deborah Amanya and the group had denied them passports. A CDF also can be misled. He's a human being. If they can mislead the president, how about a CDF? He can be misled.
Looks like it's you, the vocal ones, that are being purged. So is it his level of tolerance, or is it managed silence?
Let me tell you, if a club doesn't celebrate your talent, there are many other clubs you can join. You get it? If speaking out is a crime, my brother, I think I will end up in prison. There is no way I can stand injustice and keep quiet. How can Gashumba? My father was born in Uganda. My mother was born in Uganda. I was born in Uganda. And you deny me a national ID and you think I'm going to keep quiet? That cannot be. That cannot be. If a price for living for many years is silence, I'd rather die next year and go. If there's a landmark that I've left in this country called Uganda.
If you've chosen to speak out, why are you speaking out selectively? When it comes to the issue of Banyarwanda, you're very vocal. When it comes to the arrest and detention of Dr. Kyeyakoze Besigye, in the manner he was arrested, or even Elias Lukwago, you're silent.
Oh my God. If there's anyone that have spoken about Dr. Kyeyakoze Besigye among the first 5 Ugandans, please include me there. I was on radio on Monday. I was praying that Lukwago should be given bail. Unfortunately, he was denied bail. What do you expect me to do? To put up billboards on Kampala Road?
We know who ordered the arrest and who detained him.
And I'm having a meeting with him. I'm going to tell him.
Let's pick it up from there after this break. You're watching NBS Face Off. My guest tonight is Frank Gashumba, founding member of the Patriotic League of Uganda. So many dissenting voices have been silenced, forced into detention, thrown in jail, the threats on Twitter that they're going to spend years and years in jail. This is the same leader of Patriotic League of Uganda that you belong to.
I told you
it's quite a contradiction that you see hope in him at the same time. He has this other face.
I think it's very important. I said it earlier. I think we should sit down as Ugandans. What type of Uganda do we need to live in? Is this the type of Uganda our children must live in? We must sit down. Uganda does not belong to anyone. This one, I can repeat it day in, day out. Uganda. What can we do? What crimes has so and so committed? Has he been taken to court? Are cases bailable? Yes or no? If they are bailable, let him go home. To do something. Will you do it? I think many voices must come up and speak to General MK. We love you so much. This is the Uganda we dream to live in. But I think there are other ways we can solve problems in this country called Uganda.
Under your service of the Patriotic League of Uganda, do you ever meet him? Did you ever meet him to discuss the direction of this country?
Surprisingly, the MK you see on X is totally the opposite of MK you meet one-on-one. He's a jolly person. You talk, you chat, he advises you, do this. When you call him, he will advise you. When you communicate to him, he will advise you on what to do. Actually, the MK you meet is not the MK you see on X treating. Sometimes I think, are these doctored treats? You get it? He's a very jolly person. And he listens a lot, surprisingly. He listens a lot. I remember one day, we were talking about how civil servants are rooting this country day in and day out. And he told us, you guys, I wish you knew what I found in the Imbuya. It was unbelievable. And he has brought sanity in Imbuya now. So he's a listening person. And I believe at the end of the day, he's going to listen to many voices.
What stake does PLU have in this country as we speak today?
Stake?
Yes.
What do you mean? First of all, PLU is a civic organization. It's not a political party. When you say stake, it's NRM, and NUP has like 60 MPs. PLU is just a civic organization.
But the civic organization that has the power.
The only anchor that we have is that our chairman happens to be the CDF and the son of a president.
PLU has the power to choose parliament leadership and even enact bills in parliament and laws. It's not just a civic organization.
I don't think so. I don't think it's NRM. It's NRM. You people, Canada, don't underestimate this general called Yoweri Kaguta Museveni.
Well, let's just say it's an extension of state power.
Let me tell you, never dream, snore, and write off this person called General Museveni. General Museveni is still in charge of this country. He's the chairman of the NRM. Those MPs belong to NRM. There's no political party called PLU. You get it? I'll give you an example. It's the NRM SEC that endorsed or both, right? Was it PLU SEC? It was NRM SEC members. From NRM SEC members, they introduced or both to the NRM Parliamentary Caucus. Who is the chairman of NRM? Who is the chairman of NRM Parliamentary Caucus? When I see Ugandans saying that General Museveni is not in charge of this country, you're kidding. That man works 18 hours every day. He knows, I think, 80% of what happens in this country.
Is it possible that because of institutions like PLU, power in Uganda has been captured differently? And therefore that has created different centers of power? Hence giving the thought to Ugandans that maybe President Yoweri Museveni is no longer in charge.
Please don't even discuss it. He's still in charge of this country. MK being a CDF, he's in charge of the military. He's in charge of the entire security. By the end of the day, there is the commander-in-chief. That's President Yoweri Museveni.
What do you hope to see in Uganda's future? What do you envision?
Unfortunately, the Uganda I dream to see, unless there is a miracle. I pray for this country every day. And if you have children, if you have a family, we should pray for this country called Uganda. And we should make sure that nothing terrible happens to the future of this country. Because I see Ugandans have really done a lot. When you travel the entire country, massive projects coming up. One slight mistake can reverse those projects into the next 40 years. So in everything that you do, we should make sure that there is a smooth transition of power.
What is going to guarantee that? What is going to guarantee that?
We Ugandans, we must have a stake in this country, Uganda. All of us, not one person. The Rural War was not fought by General Museveni alone. It was fought by Wananchi. Everyone owned that Rural War. That's why they managed to take over. They should stand up and be counted. They should be proud of being Ugandans. That's the most important thing. They should be proud of being Ugandans. Let me tell you, it's me and the Pastor Wijingu who introduced this culture of our people putting on our traditional cultural dresses at Kwanjura. You get it? It's me and Bujingo. Now everyone. That's another way of fighting stigma. When you see a Munyarwanda putting on our cultural attire for his or her Kwanjure Mishanana, the next weekend they are going to do the same thing. We should first of all, we the leaders, we should first fight stigma in our people. Our people have fear that I don't understand. Actually, when I started fighting for the rights of Banyarwanda, I was assured they promised me death. Human, they are going to kill you. How do you dare discuss such topics? I said, come on. I'm a Ugandan, like a Muganda, like a Mucholi, like an Atesot, like a Langi. Now, people started believing in me. Last year, this year, January, we had the first ever Abafani Carnival in Rugogo here. We advertised it for 1 week and a half. It was maximum. This year we have the same in Rugogo. In November, we are fighting stigma in our people. Why we want such events? It sends a big message to other Ugandans that these are Ugandans like them. Then it fights stigma in our people. When someone travels from Lakai, Teso, Masaka, Mubende, and they converge at Rugogo, say, hey, I'm not the only Munyarwanda in Mubende, there are other Banyarwandas in what? In Uganda. So it's another way of fighting stigma in our people. What I can tell you, Banyarwanda, simple thing, stand up and be counted. Be law-abiding citizens. That's the most important thing. Be proud of a country called Uganda. Be proud of a country called what? Uganda, because you are Ugandans.